Another thing that I personally love about Iron Man is that, and this is going to sound a bit weird, but if you die, you suck. Alright? If you die, you just fucking deserved it, man. What is up there, guys? This is Cob, and in this here video, I'm going to explain to you why you need to get off your ass and experience Iron Man leveling. Now, what is Iron Man leveling besides trying to level from 1 to max level, whatever, expansion it is that you're leveling in, using only white and grey equipment, 0 deaths, no help from other players, no potions, flasks, elixirs, any of that kind of business. What Iron Man leveling really is the ultimate 1v1 against yourself. A little bit more on that in just a bit. So first of all, from a gameplay point of view, why would you want to try out Iron Man? Yeah, it's not the most engaging gameplay. You're mostly just spamming like 3 or 4 abilities over and over. You can't choose any talents, of course, so your spellbook is kind of limited, but in a way that makes every ability that you do have, every little shred of CC or escape mechanics available to your class, it makes them all the more crucial to your damn survival. Misuse one of them and the entire challenge could just be over. From one aspect, what Iron Man is really all about is you versus the world. Completely solo, totally alone, no help allowed from anyone else. It's just you and all of Azeroth and all of its contingent zones, and you gotta beat all of it. Iron Man is amazing, therefore, for those times where you just want to log in by yourself. Maybe you play late on at night, there's not many people online, maybe all your friends are busy doing other things, or maybe most of your friends have quit the game, ruffle them out, and you just want to do something on your own, right? Iron Man is the perfect salve for that wound. It's not really a wound, is it? But work with me here, alright? I myself am very much a nocturnal WoW player, not many people online when I do play, and, well, yeah, most of them have stopped playing the game anyway, so Iron Man is awesome for me. But sort of going back to that whole sense of danger, you might think, oh, well, why the fuck would I just want to do leveling, right? That's essentially what Iron Man is, it's a leveling challenge. I've seen the quests 100 times, I've seen the zones a billion times before, why the hell would I want to go back? Well, the answer to that is quite simple. Your character is now weak as fuck in Iron Man, right? You just die if you pull like 3 mobs, pretty much, if you can't run away, right? If you die in an Iron Man character, I'd say above level 40-ish. Wow, man, that feels really, really bad. It does, it feels terrible. I mean, you should experience it for yourself just so you know what I'm talking about. When one death spells the doom of that character and effectively fails you the challenge immediately, you look at things differently, right? You're thinking a lot in advance. Okay, where the hell can I go next? Can I actually pull this quest off? Am I going to be able to kill the huge fat-ass elite, or, this big-ass powerful mob that's going to spawn at the end of this question? You also view combat very, very differently. Things like having an escape route, having a way out, making sure that you kill the mobs that are behind you without just trying to run past anything, These kinds of things are going to save your goddamn life. You're going to be thinking like a prey animal in a lot of ways, So even though you've been in these zones like a billion times before, and yes, you've done these quests a billion times before, trust me, you're going to see them differently when everything is on the line. And that sort of brings me to my next point. Iron Man leveling is a massive, massive test of game knowledge. You gotta know every single quest in every zone that you go to, and if you don't, it's gonna get you killed. Probably eventually, right? Something's gonna pop up during an escort quest or something that you're not ready for, you're gonna get dazed by a mob, and it's over, man. You're gone, right? You're gonna panic with your feigned death and you're gonna fuck it up, and it's just gonna end in disaster, alright? Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game, right? Get another Iron Man character created, and don't be as garbage next time. I love that feeling, I love that feeling of, look, when I fuck up, there's no safety net, okay? There's something about that just reminds me of, really old school games. I feel like that's something of a dying experience in the games of today. And I do actively seek out games like that. Games with survival elements in Iron Man game modes. And finally, what is Iron Man really? Going back to what I said towards the beginning of the video, Iron Man is really, truthfully, a 1 versus 1 against yourself. It's such a massive test of patience. Christ, you guys know how many times Pingu's died during Iron Man? You know how many times he died just because he got impatient? Because he didn't kill the mobs behind him, and he was killing a goddamn quest mob, and he pulled too many as he tried to back away, and, you know, he died a few times before even level 20, just by doing that. He arrived at a flight path in 1,000 Needles, saw a quest down at the bottom, he thought he'd jump off and just disengage and just survive the fall, jumped off and just fucking died, man, because he couldn't be asked to run down to wherever the quest giver was or the quest hub was, you know. Little things like that. Patience is such a huge deal, and as you get higher level, as you kind of get above the levels like 30, 40, 50, focus becomes a huge thing as well. You cannot log in and play Ironman when sleepy. You can't do it, man. It's too fucking big of a risk. It just takes you to be rubbing your eyes at some point and a mob respawns behind you and you're dead. It's fucking over, man. You can't do it while distracted. Honestly, I'm surprised at myself that I even stream Ironman anymore, but I am streaming my Ironman currently on most of our live streams, but I'll often go a few minutes at a time without reading the chat at all, and I won't read the chat until I know that I'm safe, I'm on my flying mount, I'm in a quest hub, and I can afford to safely look away from the screen, you know, because I don't want to lose this 1v1 against myself because I'm being distracted, you know? And you go through this strange experience when you're leveling an Ironman character, right? The first, like, 5 or 6 levels, it's like, yay! You're like a new little adventurer, it's all fun and games, like, yeah, I'm totally gonna do Iron Man because it's the thing I've always wanted to do and it's gonna be great, you know? You're like Ash Ketchum going out on your Pokemon adventures, and it's all grand. And then the next, like, 20 levels after that, while you kind of make your way towards level 30, it's just sort of boring. You're not really that excited anymore. It's just like, wow, man, like, I'm not gonna die. It's kind of easy. But at the same time, it's just... But then after that, as you're going through, you know, level 40, 50, 60, and, well, Christ, once you reach Outland, things start to feel real. There's something monk-like about it. There's this kind of crazy self-discipline that you gotta build, and when you log into Iron Man, no one is allowed to disturb you, you know, you're just focusing on this one thing, you play in offline mode on Battle.net, you get very, very zen about it, and... yeah, I'm not quite sure why that's such a positive to me. Man, too many Discord messages coming in, dude. Everyone's supposed to be asleep at this time. Why do you think I'm so goddamn nocturnal? I like my alone time, man. Probably why I like Iron Man so much. But there is something monk-like about trying the Iron Man challenge, especially about failing the Iron Man challenge multiple times, and you continue coming back to it, and every time you retry it, you get a little bit higher level, and you get a little bit more patient, and a little bit more disciplined, and a little bit more refined in your ability to focus. It's a great exercise for self-improvement, honestly. Like, that sounds like that just sounds like I'm bullshitting, I know, but it's the truth, okay? I think that kicking up the Iron Man challenge is an amazing, amazing long-term goal, and the TLDR is... Just fucking try it, man. I think that a lot of people are really scared of failing the challenge. Oh, I'd probably die because I get too impatient, you know? Well, look, you gotta understand, man. You gotta understand something about failure, right? You only experience failure, especially something that you put a lot of effort into, you know? You only experience this kind of crippling sense of failure if you genuinely feel like you're doing something meaningful. If you don't really give a fuck about Iron Man and you die, it's like, well, who cares, you know? You kind of feel shit for like a half hour, and then you're on to the next thing, you know? But if you're really putting effort into something, and you fail, and it feels terrible, Christ, it's hard to see it in the moment, okay? But it's actually a good thing. It shows that you were really putting your heart into something. If not, you wouldn't be experiencing the failure at all. And to feel like you're reeling a little bit after something like an Iron Man death, if you got 3 or 4 days playtime on a character, which might not seem like that long compared to your main, right? But 3 or 4 days of your life into a completely arbitrary challenge that probably only you are going to give a fuck about, even if you were to complete it, it can feel pretty staggeringly bad to die in Iron Man. But I personally think that the greatest way to combat the fear of failure is to fear inaction more than the fear of fucking something up, right? You're going to regret the things that you don't do more than the things that you do. Yeah, that's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, and that's because, well, at least I believe wholeheartedly that is true. WoW is an aging game, okay? WoW is getting old. It's old, man. It's not dying. Well, it depends how you define dying. Every expansion is a little bit less alive than the expansion that came before it, right? You know what I'm talking about, you know? I'm not ringing the death bells for WoW, the death knell, sounding the death knell for WoW. That's an Undead reference. But I'm just saying, okay, the player base is getting smaller and smaller every time. And the smaller the player base gets, the fewer people are going to give a shit if you complete the Iron Man challenge. So, the clock's ticking, man. What time if not now? Okay, if you thought about quitting WoW recently, is the Iron Man challenge something that you want to be able to say to people, your friends, whatever, that you have done and completed, or at least pushed really, really far in before you quit the game? For me, it is. For me, Iron Man was one of the main reasons that I came back to World of Warcraft. It was one of the main reasons that I felt like I still had things to do. I still had business in Azeroth, right? When I was, you know, thinking about coming back to the game. And here I am, and by God, I'm going to complete this challenge if it is the last thing that I do within this godforsaken game. I've left a link down below in the description box to the WoW Challenges website, which, once you've created your Iron Man character, you can sign your character up on the WoW Challenges site so that you can be tracked for your potions usage, your elixir usage. Make sure that you don't get yourself red flagged. Make sure that you're not equipping any green gear or any of that kind of bullshit. No deaths, of course. To make sure that you're not cheating in the challenge. It's a way to compare yourself to everybody else who's currently taking the challenge. And yeah, I mean, it's just a required tool if you're gonna give a go. Give the Iron Man challenge a go, rather. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, guys. Do meaningful things with your life. I look forward to hearing all of your guys' Iron Man progress. If you do decide to go ahead and pick it up, I'd love to hear about how you're doing in the comments every now and then. It'd be awesome. For now, thanks for watching, everybody. Do enjoy the rest of your day, or evening, or night. And I'm going to catch all of you guys just a bit later.